So when you open up Media Composer like in the past, it identifies that it's a 2024.2. That suggests it's 24 in February. I have the Symphony, I have the newscutter, and I have the phrase find artificial intelligence and script sync. These are big words now. Opening up the application is very simple. You should be familiar with that. Then comes the next step in the Media Composer family. The premise is that you have a either existing project that you have to work with, or you start a new project. You know how to open up new projects, click on the new project, and you have a variety of choices. The choices that are available to you are broken down into My Presets, Ultra HD, and so on. It is something that you have to set up at the beginning. And my project is called AVID April 2024 Seminar. It identifies itself as a 1920 1080 running at 2997, which is the broadcast frame rate in these United States. The color I'm using is the YCBCR709, and it tells me the raster dimension. It tells me when was the last time I was opening up. Left double-clicking on it opens up the project existing, or if you highlight it, hit on the bottom right-hand corner, open. So this is all something that you can, on your own, look it up. Here's the first question. The first question is going to be, how are you set up the interface? I have a 2-monitor setup on my ecosystem, and my ecosystem is making sure that whatever I have is going to be playing on single monitor, because in Zoom, I'm translating on 1 monitor. Therefore, when you open up the upper right-hand corner, the general edit window, that window is going to split it, if you have 2 monitors, automatically into 2 real estate environments. Therefore, the composer window will end up on that. So right now, you are familiar with the concept of bins. You're familiar with the concept of clips, and you are familiar with the concept of a sequence. I do have a sequence already in my timeline. You should see that this is a webinar. My name is there, and 24.2. In the timeline, I have a option. I'm going to turn off the upper track, and this is what the whole webinar is going to be about. I have a narration going on, so that sound was transcribed. Watch and see what happens when I hit the space bar. The sound should be coming through.
And they are divided into 3 families. So diffusion panels like these. Okay. And absorption panels.
Does they absorb it?
Yeah.
Got it.
And this is a mix between diffusion with oak and cork for absorption.
Now, this scenario that I am demonstrating is something that I preset earlier, but I will go through it step by step to impress upon you that it is done real time, very fast. Presumption is obviously that my system can handle it. Here, you hear a gentleman, this is a trade show, American Engineering Society in New York City last fall, where he is talking with an accent like myself. But look at how clean the translation is on the closed caption below him.
Got it. And this is a mix between diffusion with oak and cork for absorption. And this is a diffusion panel.
What are the materials? So now you have a cork here.
This is oak.
Now, watch how the computer recognizes these abbreviations: ABS, MDE, plastic, ceramics, wood, ABS again, and felt. So if the spelling is not done right, you can always go back to it. I'm going to click on the actual narration translation on this particular section. You go into the editing tool. In this case, editing tool comes up, and it tells you that the caption text can be added and manipulated. So I can actually change the spelling if it's not working right. So the question is, how did we get to this point? How does the system do the analysis, and what is needed for you step by step to get to this point? There are 2 clips. One is the gentleman talking about these absorption panels for sound. And the second one is a gentleman is talking about his device that is a timecode generator. So now let's listen to what the guy is saying. This is a product that is a very simple one. It looks like it's GoPro, and listen how noisy it is.
Will generate timecode, wirelessly send it out to other timecode boxes or our wireless timecode slate, TCS only.
You should be able to right-click on the clip itself. Look at the clip. That's the clip. The transcript option is going to be giving you export the transcript, which I'm not doing right now because I want to show you what happens and how fast it does the create script from the clip. Watch it. This is real time, not made up. There we go. Bam. What? So drop down the windows and change the font to, let's say, 2020. Now, watch what happens. The clip that I have is clearly this icon that represents the clip. And each of these sentences, or let's be more specific, lines, give you like a little notch there. So if I click on I also have a very, very bad record in breaking stuff. So let's see if I click on that junction, what will happen when I hit the space bar?
And I also have a very, very bad record for breaking.
So if I say the TC1 time code, oh, it recognizes that it's a brand, it translates it. So let's click on it.
Time code box, the TC1 time code generator box.
Let's go in there. In and out output. Watch me. I'm going to click on that notch. There we go. Double click on it.
There's a video recorder. I see there's an output here. There's an input or output here on the left side.
So if you need to send a time code outward, let's try that.
Becomes an input. If you need to send the time code outward, it is an.
So it actually is able to help you edit the story. Therefore, this tool transcribes the material that is on the sound track portion, and now you understand that you can work with it. I also see the tool that if I am just hitting the play button, let's see what happens.
If you need to send the time code outward, it is an output. If you need to send the
So
time
it
code
loops
outward,
it
it is
on
an
that
output.
particular selection. Now, notice that, first of all, it's a English that may not be the standard Oxford English, may not be the standard Massachusetts English, or maybe different, but it recognizes it automatically. So let's say go to the end, last one. That way you can use our time code, but still get scratch on your camera. Scratch audio, that's what they're referring to.
Scratch audio on the right, so that way you can use our time code, but still get scratch on your camera.
Perfect. So the spelling is good, the voicing is good. Now, what you use this for, obviously, is up to you. If I want to put a story together, I will actually grab this clip, put it into the story, which is actually creating a brand new sequence. And if it puts it in, it calls it, let's say, call it Thursday webinar. Now, I'm not going to use the entire thing because it's a little bit long and I don't want you to sit and wait. I'm going to Command S it. Everything I do, something I save it. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to use the tail shortcut, cuts the tail off. So now I have a short one, which is about 7 seconds. And this is what I'm looking for. I need to add another track. The other track is going to be, meaning the video track above that. So if I add another video track, that's where I'm going to have the closed caption. So here's how the closed caption functions. Step 1, add a video track, which would be a couple of choices. One of the choices would be either a video track or a keyboard shortcut on a Mac. So I have a video track. Now, how does the closed caption work? What is the sequence? The sequence identifies that that is the one. I'm going to color it a specific color, let's say, so I can find it. Command S, save it, and watch what I am going to do on the sequence. Not in the timeline, but in the bin where the sequence lives. Right-click on it, and there's a drop-down choice where it will give you transcript, export subcaps. I'm not transcribing, I'm exporting a subcaps, which is going to be the subcaps, closed caption, if you want to call it. So I'm going to activate that, and I'm activating audio 1 and 2 because the computer needs to be told what is it listening to create those closed captions. So if I do the OK, and I want to send it out someplace, like I'm going to put it on desktop, and I'll call it subcaps. I'll call it Thursday 03. It is going to send it out in a text file. For me to find it easy, I'm going to put it on a desktop. And when I send it out, it is there. Okay. Now, when I say there, it requires that it is translating it. So it is listening to that English, and it takes, depending on the speed of the computer, depending on how much RAM you have, and what else is going on. Right now, I'm running 2 applications. I'm running the Zoom, and I'm running the Media Composer, so it took care of it. Where does it live? It's on my desktop. If you don't believe that, Command H hides it and find it on the desktop, and I believe I put it there. And let's see, where is it? Desktop, okay. Where was the date? Well, the date was 03. There's the one, and it was recorded, captured at 1:16 p.m. So that's the one we're going to bring in. Now, how does the system function? Upper left-hand corner, you switch over to wherever you are into the effects family called the generator. And you drag the subcap onto the second video track because that's where the closed caption is going to go. So if I just drag into that subcap with the effect editor, import caption data, import click on it, and find it on the desktop. There we go. It was done today at 1:16. If I open it up, it puts it there and splits it up. Now, the only thing that you notice that you see the fonts are small, tiny. It puts it into a window. So the question is, how come those are in the spot? Well, because I didn't tell how the placement is going to be. So step one, I'm going to go back to the editing. And in the editing, I'm going to open up the elements, which are text, appearance, and I'm going to say that the text is going to be a larger font. Where is the size of the font? Well, increase the font. Okay, but it's the wrong spot. Okay, man, that's the wrong spot. I need to find out what the box is going to be. The box can be adjusted, anchor position, left and right. I found a number that makes sense to me. I think it is going to be minus 460. That's all the way in the bottom. And the Y position is going to be 450. 450. So it's kind of down on the bottom left hand. The only problem I have is, watch it, the box is kind of too tiny. So when I play it,
code, but still get scratch on your camera.
Okay, so it plays that section. If I go to the next section, it plays that next section.
What's your price point on this MSRP?
For me, this is not big enough, not good enough, so I'm going to go back to the original because I positioned it. Now watch it. This is, again, tedious, but at least once you saw how the setup can be manipulated or customized, I'm going to make the font size a little bit bigger, make it about 60. 60 is a number that I'm happy with. But the width of that box that is here is going to increase to, let's say, 1800. So now when I play it, obviously you can also manipulate, fix the wrap and all the rest stuff. So you customize it to your need. My need right now is to demonstrate how it will happen, how it will play. If I go to the beginning, it says
scratch audio on the right, so that way you can use our time code but still get scratch on your camera.
Now, because I'm parking on a specific segment, if I switch, which means that I'm going to switch and let the entire timeline continue play. Let's see what happens.
Scratch on your camera.
What's your price point?
Oh, the second one didn't adjust the width. I'm going to not fix it, but set up properly. Grab the caps. Okay, so that's one. Two, while I'm going in there, I need to make sure that my setup is already going to give me the 60 size of the font. I will also make sure that my alignment is minus 460 the width, minus 460, and 450 the regular. So I'm presetting the window. So my premise is that I set up this preset. Therefore, this preset could be also saved in your bin somewhere. Oh, so I can actually have a preset. Everything is spread out, the size are all set up. Anytime I do it, next time I can actually work with it. Let me demonstrate that. So I go back into the bin, wherever the stuff is, and grab the subcap and put it in and make it a template. And I can call it subcat template. Now, you remember what is the next step. I need to put in the material because I sent out the subcap as a text file. Therefore, I need to import it. I need to find it. And I believe the one I'm looking for is the subcap 3. There we go. And it's a text, AVID DC captions file, text file, and open it up. It comes in. There we go. So now both of those guys are, there we go. So both of those guys are the size of the font, the placement of the box, and just the positioning is right. Command S, save it. Watch how cool it is. I'm going to play it out, this whole thing, because it's fun, and it is actually a good test for you to see if the transcribing was that done right, and does it make sense to have it there at that particular position, because you may not want to have it there. Space bar, hit the space bar, play it out.
Scratch audio on the right, so that way you can use our time code but still get scratch on your camera.
What's your price point on this MSRP?
Now, let me show you another scenario, and this scenario is more of a action or a movie. So I have the AVID stuff, which is part of the training. If you ever took an AVID training with FMC, or if you're planning, this is some of the material that the AVID provides. So this is a section where I'm going to clear out the upper right-hand corner, which is the composer window command. That's save it. This is a shooting, and if you're a filmmaker, I hope you understand the concept of setting up the slate of the footage so you know exactly what you're looking at. And generally, even today with electronic cameras, there is a separate camera person, separate sound person. The slate comes out, they tell you what is the version, what is the take, what is the scene, and this is what is going on. Now, switching between the two elements, in this case, I'm looking at the source monitor, you can notice that there is some kind of activity going on past this waveform. Here's how you increase the density, and it does not increase the volume. Okay, increase it. Now you know that, the activity is starting somewhere down the road. What is happening in the beginning? Somebody calls out, slate or action or something like that. Let's find out.
7, slate 31, take 1.
Slate, and then somebody's going to say action. And
set.
And action.
action, okay. So I don't need the material before that. So theoretically, I could actually make a shorter segment, which is going to be in, out, and maybe use a dialogue because the two guys are talking to the janitor.
Okay, you're the boss.
I
Back
hope
it up,
you're
boys.
hearing the sound. So now I'm going to get a section of it. Watch this, a short section in and out. I'm going to make a subclip of it so I don't waste time and I have the computer working fast. Now this is a different environment. Grab it, I make a subclip of it, and I'm going to call it sub for transcoding. Command S it. Remember, you saw me just earlier. If I want to see what the dialogue is, I can right click on it simply and I say, hey, please give me the transcript. There we go. Remember, we had earlier made the window a little bit more useful by activating the font in the Windows dropdown. Let's make it 30. So do you want to refund? To refund? You don't want it at all. Okay, you are the boss. Pick it up, boys. It doesn't want. Try that again. Do it again. Back it up, boys. Okay, let's see, find out what's going on here. So with this, if I play the clip, the sub clip, play it and listen to it, I'm looking at the waveforms to help me understand where I am.
So, do you want a refund? Oh, you don't want it at all.
If I go further down, watch what happens.
Pack it up, boys. Huh? I said he doesn't want it.
He doesn't
Sorry,
want
can
it.
we try that again?
Okay, so now there's instruction. But you understand the principle works. Now, I put together a story already where I have a jacuzzi where there are multiple shots. I'm going to go back to the normal thing, and I have multiple things. I put together a complete section. This complete movie section or complete scene is the guys talking. Because we generally, when we train, we kind of recommend that we made a duplicate. In this case, I'm going to make a duplicate. Ding, 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 duplicate. So here's the sequence. Watch it, please. This sequence already has all the elements put together. Because I don't need to have the upper track, the source record is irrelevant right now. I'm going to kill the track that already has the subtitles. Hit delete. In the timeline, the delete says, yeah, delete that track. Step 1, add another video track. Command Y adds a video track. 2, grab your subcap. You remember that earlier I made a template where the subcaps will be usable. So the subcaps usefulness is, there we go. So that's going to be the template. I'm going to drag it over because I'm setting up the width and the size and everything else. So when I make it, I can throw it in and it should work. If I don't see what I just did earlier, remember, we go in there we go, double check it. The size is 65, width is there, therefore 60, 1800. So this should work now. So now comes the last element, Command S it. This is a little bit longer. How long is it? According to what I'm looking at, it's about, I don't know, 3 minutes. So it might take some time. And in the meantime, I'm going to do some house cleaning and talk to you about this. So step 1, Command S. The reason why I am doing it real time, 3 minutes, because I need you to know how long it takes in real time if you have a decent computer, which I believe is close to what you have. Maybe you get more RAM and faster computer. It's a quad core. I have 64 gigs of RAM and I have 8 gigabytes of video RAM. Now, step 1, right click, create a export subcap, and I'll define that I only have one audio track. Therefore, there's no need for the analyzer to analyze the audio track 2. Okay it. I'm going to call it, I'll call it for you. Webinar, so I can find it easier. And I'll put it again on the desktop so I can find it. Now, I'm wondering how long will it take? 2, maybe even 3 minutes. In the meantime, you understand, 1, that the English that you pick, it recognizes Australian, American, British as English. Let's see if it is correct. My point is that It is a smart tool. When I get done with this, I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to show you also another tool that is part of this new version where you can recognize a phrase. And the phrase is basically he's saying something, or she or the person who is talking is saying something, and you say, where was the place where they were talking about, pick a word, and we can click on that word, and that word would be showing up in the phrase find tool. Now in the new version, it will tell you what sentence was the word used. Again, click on the activation. It is now 65, the size of the font. The positioning of that box is set up. And the only thing I need to do is import caption data. When the import caption comes up, I do remember I called it something and I added the extension webinar to it. Therefore, when I click on it and open it up, boom. Let me play it.
So do you want a refund? Oh, you don't want it at all? Okay, you're the boss.
So the manager or the team leader is talking to the owner, because the story is that they bring in a jacuzzi and the guy doesn't want it. So let me move further down and see how accurate the recognition is.
Oh, you don't want it at all? Okay, you're the boss.
But it's already off the truck.
Well, then put it back on, genius.
Ivan, it's Friday over.
I know.
We'll have to go all the way back to the warehouse. Peak hour traffic.
I know.
I'm going to go and talk to you about, oh, look at how complicated stuff it is.
But it's already off the truck.
Well, then put it back on, genius.
Ivan, it's Friday out.
Friday out.
We'll have to go all the way back to the warehouse. In peak hour traffic.
I know.
It's the semis, Ivan. We'll
Semi's Ivan. I think he is misspelling, because I believe the name of the manager is Ivan. So maybe the semis, maybe the semifinals, but the Ivan, maybe that's the problem. So we'll need to change that. Remember how we go about that. Go inside and semis Ivan and change it there. That's where you can change things. Is the semis Ivan. That's where I would change it. Let's see if it works. Ivan, and let's see if when it refreshes, does it give me semis plural? Okay, and you see it took it. There we go. So if I play it, it should be able.
No.
We'll have to go all the way back to the warehouse. In peak hour traffic.
I know.
It's the semis, Ivan. We'll miss kickoff.
We'll miss kickoff, or we may put it in. But you understand the principle. So this story is kind of done. And you producers, editors, predators can say, well, listen, I'm looking for the word where they are talking about the manager. The name of the manager is Ivan. So this is how you go about using the phrase find. In this case, I need to do the find tool, which is edit, find the tool. Now the find tool comes up and it pops up here. I'm going to use the word Ivan. And I'm going to use the phrase find artificial intelligence. Hello, let's make it bigger. There we go. Phrase find artificial intelligence. Essentially, I am asking the computer, what is the occurrence, or how many times did the Ivan name show up? So the phrase find AI says, yes, it happened many, many, many times, and it happened in the clip 34, 33, 32, 31. Now, that is where the sentence is, where the word is used. The number, the score for you, if you haven't worked with this before, tells you that it is absolutely recognizing that. So what's the benefit of this? Well, here's the benefit. If you're editing a story, you say, well, when did he say a word? Well, let's try 731. Double click on it.
It's the semis, Ivan.
Got it. I think that is going to be calling, he don't want it. He don't, let's see, want it. Let's see if that works. Phrase find, there we go. He says it a couple of times, and the accuracy is 88%. Let's see for editing purposes, where is that beneficial to you?
He doesn't want it.
Huh?
He doesn't want it.
Huh?
He doesn't want it.
So all the occurrences where the sentence section is appearing are now registered, and the accuracy seems to be 88%. That means that it is pretty recognizable. Here is the last one.
Huh?
He doesn't want it.
Got it. So now we talked about the elements that are really, really cool in the new version, and they are not just cool, but they are practical for you as an editor. So if you have a long interview and your long interview says, well, here's my stuff, I need to find a word. Okay, there is a word, I believe, in the AES where the guy says TC. I don't know, what's it called, time code? Okay, I know where the stuff is, and I know that he used the word time code. So let's kill it. So step one, go into the edit drop down. Fine. Two, you define that in this project, clips and sequences. So any clip, not a script text, not a timeline and monitors, but you're looking for clips that contain the word time code. Let's see if I can type it in. Time code. Time code, phrase find. There we go. So when you type in the terminology, type in the abbreviation, type in the word, if you want to find out where it appears, not the name of the clip, but you want to type in the word and you're looking for the phrase find, finds it multiple times. Let's see if I'm correct.
Wirelessly send it out to other timecode boxes or
Okay, so it recognizes there.
generate timecode.
Got it.
Device.
This is a timecode box. It will send the timecode on the
Because there was a section where the guy's talking about the cork. Remember, the cork is one of those insulation things. If you don't remember, let's type it in, and that's going to be the last one, cork. And let's see if it is recognized. Cork, how many times?
So now you have a C
So
cork here.
this is oak, cork, ABS.
Okay. So the three occurrences I have 100%.
Here I
This is
have
oak, cork, oak, and cork.
So now you have a C
So
cork here.
this is
So now we tested it, and it is one of those things that you need to find out what works best. I appreciate your attention. Thank you for your time. Stay healthy, stay well. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. Thank you for joining us. Not tomorrow, but I'll see you when I see you. And these are all our connecting things. So I appreciate your time. The show is over. Go in peace. Thank you very much. Stay healthy, and hope to see you sometimes in any of the classes.